My name is Simon. It was a Friday night and I was really looking forward to tonight's game. I'm a quarterback in my local high school football team and my girlfriend is on the cheer team. There was a lot of stress this week between my girlfriend and another member of the team, Sarah, but thankfully all their trouble has been sorted out. My girlfriend Louise can be very high-strung at times. I hadn't seen my girlfriend since yesterday. I got into a huge fight with a guy, and when it was over I just saw my girlfriend cry and run away. There must be something wrong with her phone, because when I tried to call, all I got was static. I was cheating on my girlfriend with Sarah, but my girlfriend never approached me about it, so I wasn't certain that's why they were fighting. And I know my girlfriend, and she would definitely approach me. It was time to kick off, and I was hyped up. We were playing a rival school, Moontown High School. Our team, Lime Street High School, were on top of their game this season, thankfully. But tonight's game was very important. The game started off very rough indeed. There were guys kept running for me, and it was like they were targeting me. To make matters worse, I had butterfingers because the ball just fell out of my hands once I caught it. These guys seemed to really have it in for me. I was exhausted at half time, and when I walked into the dressing room, everyone ignored me. I didn't know what was happening. Suddenly I went out on the field and waved at my girlfriend, and she was ignoring me also and just started cheering with the rest of her team. It was after the game I felt like I was having a nightmare when my teacher got up to speak to everyone. Okay everyone, it was a decision made by the school council that we play this game in memory of Simon, and even though we were on the edge of calling it off, we decided to play the game in Simon's memory. He was such a great student and great player. I tuned the sound of my teacher out, as now I remembered getting hit by a yellow school bus, running across the road to my girlfriend, so excited to see she was talking to Louise. I tried for weeks to get them to be friends again, and when I finally did, I got hit by a school bus. But it was then I remembered a few weeks ago we were messing with a new kid in school who was into witchcraft and said if we wanted something to happen, we needed to sacrifice something we love. I then realised I made a pact with the new student to my girlfriend and Sarah be friends again. Then I walked up to my girlfriend and Sarah speaking. I couldn't believe what I heard my girlfriend say. I swear, I was so angry at him cheating with you, I didn't even realise I was going to push him in front of a bus. I didn't even see it coming. What if there was CCTV? I was wondering why I didn't remember her pushing me. Then the student from my school walked up to me and said, "Don't worry, this was all mapped out for you. Don't you see? I died too, but came back to life." I was shocked, wondering what he meant. Then suddenly I could hear voices and see lights. When my vision came around, I noticed there were doctors standing over me. He said, "Welcome back, kid. You're a fighter." My girlfriend came in a couple of minutes later with Sarah. My girlfriend started crying and took my hand. She whispered, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I replied, "It's okay." I told my girlfriend a few weeks later, when I recovered, about my memories of playing the game. She said there was no game. It was called off. The strange guy from school kept telling me that he was messing about coming back to life. But after researching him online, I learned that he was brought back to life after being clinically dead after drowning. He was hailed as a miracle boy. The drowning happened a year ago. When I approached him about it, he told me it would be better to forget the whole thing, because when he decided to tell people about the sacrifice, etc., they just thought he was crazy. The boy looked confused. Then I got a phone call from my mum telling me that my girlfriend was hit by a truck. I had then realised why the boy looked confused. Then he looked shocked. He said, "More than likely she hadn't known what the sacrifice would be." I got angry with the boy and shouted, "What do you mean?" Then my girlfriend walked up to me. She hadn't realised she had been killed. The boy said, "You can see dead people. That's the thing about this." My girlfriend smiled and said, "What's wrong?" I had then realised the reason I came back to life was because my girlfriend wished for me to get better, not knowing that she would sacrifice herself. Sam was very disappointed one night when he was out for a walk and happened to come across a restaurant and was stunned to see his girlfriend Judy in there talking to another man. He thought of movies with scenes like this and wondered, was it something innocent, meeting like a platonic relationship and meeting up about work? But his hopes were dashed when she moved towards the man and kissed him on his lips. They weren't in each other's houses yet, not even up towards the door. Sam knew what he would do. He had done it before and got away with it, so there was nothing from stopping him from doing it now. The next day he met her, he made a date for her that night in a local bar. He was talking to her like there was nothing happened, like she was some honest person who would never cheat. But of course he knew himself the opposite was the truth. They were speaking in the bar, and to any outsider, they would have thought they were both enjoying each other's company. Sam was in an upbeat mood, but little did Judy know it wasn't because of her being in her company. It was because of what he had planned to do with her. They both walked home, and it was getting dusk. Sam thought Judy had money because her house was huge, but money wasn't important to him, and anyway, he wasn't even in the house. They weren't even next to each other's door, just back a few yards, as if they were hiding some secret affair. But important to him was truth, honesty, and loyalty more than any money. That was the most important thing Sam could have in any relationship. He kissed her goodnight and walked on. 10 minutes later, he walked past her house and took out his very clever contraption he hid in a bush just down from her house. It was a gasoline can he would throw in her window and torch the house. And when it was ablaze, he would make sure it would go up fast, because beforehand he would have doused the walls as much as he could with gasoline. He wasn't familiar with this neighbourhood and wouldn't even set foot in it only for Judy. He would have loved to have stood there watching the fire, but he knew he had to wait till the fire engine got there and join a crowd of onlookers and act like a shocked member of the public. 10 minutes later the crowd gathered and the fire engine, but he froze in shock when he saw Judy without a scratch speaking to a man. He then heard a person next to him say to another person, "That must have been a gang hit. That is the house of the biggest gang boss in town. There will be a war break out over this." Sam had just wondered, could it be that Judy was just pretending it was her house to impress him? He found out very soon she lived down the road in a very small house, and realised that sooner or later he will have the town, if not state's biggest gang, after him for the arson attack. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you enjoy the content, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new content. Sam was relaxing watching TV when he got a phone call from his girlfriend Ginny. She said in an excited voice, "Hi Sam, it's me. I just finished an absolutely amazing game. Well, I'm not sure could you even call it a game. It's more of a surprise or an amazing prize or something like that. I have the choice to nominate someone close to me to experience the same thing. Trust me, you'll love it. They gave me the rules. All you need to do is go down to the bus stop across the street, and under the seat, under a stone, will be an envelope with instructions to you go to a place called the Red Room. But I know it's kinda weird at the start. You get taken in a cab and are blindfolded, so you don't know where you are going exactly. I have to admit, I was totally freaked out at that stage, but when I got to the Red Room..." Sam interrupted Ginny. "Ginny, are you high or something? What is going on? What is the Red Room?" "Okay, in the envelope you will see a questionnaire. You just fill it out and then follow the instructions to get brought to this room, which is called the Red Room. It's kind of strange though, because the room is all white. There is no red in it. But I was asked about what was my favourite food, movies, books, etc. And the room was full of everything I love. And there were loads of shopping trolleys outside the room to me carry it. Trust me, you will absolutely love it. I'll show you what I have when I get home." Sam said, "You're telling me that I can go there right now to the bus stop and fill the questionnaire?" Ginny said, "Yes, right now, because you don't know what time you're going to be collected." Sam said, "Okay babe, I'm on it right now. I'll see you after this freaking weird surprise you're talking about." A few minutes later, Sam walked to the bus stop, and sure enough there was a stone with an envelope underneath. He knew he couldn't fill out the questionnaire at the bus stop, as he needed something to lean on, and he had no pen, so he brought it back to his house and filled it out. He was asked to go to a quiet road near his house and get picked up outside a gate in an hour. He was there waiting, and a car pulled up, and a person with a face covered said, "Welcome to the Red Room, where your dreams become a reality. You don't have to pay 1 cent for loads of things you could only dream to afford to buy. There will be lots of more surprises waiting for you in the Red Room." Sam was shown into the car and blindfolded, and a half hour later his blindfold was taken off in a white room. The white room was full of everything he loved. Games consoles, expensive TVs and lots more. He then heard a voice come out of a speaker that said, "Hello and welcome to the Red Room. Thanks very much for accepting the offer to enter the Red Room. Everything you see was chosen from the answers to your questionnaire, so we surmise you are very happy with your gifts. You now have the honour to ring a friend and nominate them to enter the Red Room. Just simply tell us their location and we will give you a meeting point to then pick up their envelope." Sam said happily, "I nominate my cousin Fred please. He lives just around the corner from me." The voice spoke again. "Perfect. All you need to do is call your friend using your cell phone and let him know about the game and tell him to look under the same place as you did by your bus stop." Sam was very happy to make the call, and when he hung up, he heard something from the wall. He wondered what it was. Then suddenly he heard gunshots, and he was shot to bits. His blood splattered all over the white room, and he wasn't alive to find out why the white room was called the Red Room. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you enjoy the content, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new content. Fred owned an art gallery, but he was very upset, knowing he hardly sold a painting in a week, and he knew that if he didn't earn enough money to get on top of the bills, soon then he would have to close the gallery down. He was sitting in a bar one night, telling his friend he had to close the gallery if he could not come up with some miracle to bring in more revenue than he already was. A few minutes later he went up to the bar to buy a drink, when he realized there was a strange looking man dressed in a black suit staring right at him. Then the man handed him a card and said, "I couldn't help but hear your sad story about the gallery. I have an amazing idea that will no doubt keep your gallery open. Just don't tell your friend over there or anyone else. Call me anytime." That night when Fred got home, he sat down on his sofa, wondering what the man's idea was and why he was so adamant to not tell anyone about it. He rang the man's number and there was an answer. The man's voice spoke. "Hello there, thanks so much for calling. Now I am just going to come right out with it. I have the most amazing art display this city will ever see, and you can have it free of charge, but you will need to shut the gallery for just 24 hours, and let me and my people set it up. The main thing is that it is going to be behind reinforced bulletproof glass and should never, and I repeat, never ever, open the glass. There are just 2 rules. That is 1, don't open the glass, and don't tell anyone I told you this is a guaranteed success. Before you have any questions, let me explain how this will help your gallery. This display will bring art lovers from all over the country and all over the world. It will spread like wildfire how amazing it is. Just remember, never open the glass and don't tell anyone about it. Getting back to the glass, there won't be a key, there won't be a lever to open it or a handle, but just make sure not to damage the wall around it or anything that could affect the glass." Fred could not take in what the strange man was telling him, but he felt he had no other choice to agree with the man, so he said, "Okay, whatever display you have, I will shut the gallery for all of next Monday till you have it set up, but can you at least tell me what it is?" The man ignored his question and said, "I will see you Monday morning at 7 a.m. and also you cannot be in the gallery when it has been set up." On Tuesday morning, Fred opened his gallery and wondered what the display was. He was shocked to see a very weird set of mannequins posed as in a zombie movie. He soon forgot how weird they looked when crowds of people flocked into the gallery to see the display, and they loved it, and also they seemed to pick up a few paintings as they stayed there. By the end of the day, he had already made enough money to pay the bills that he had outstanding. He received a call from the strange man, and the man asked Fred, "So Fred, how is it going?" Fred said it was going brilliantly, thanks so much. Just remember the rules. Don't tell anyone I told you it would turn the gallery into a success. And remember, don't ever have the wall or glass damaged. The call ended. Later on that night, when everyone was enjoying themselves, Fred couldn't keep the secret any longer. He was speaking to a lady he admired for a long time and told her about how a man told him it would turn his gallery around, and he knew that the gallery would go from strength to strength. Suddenly there was a loud noise, and the room shaked. He'd realised it was an earthquake. Then there was another noise, and the room shaked again. The glass shattered, and everyone screamed as the mannequins turned into real zombies and started walking around the room, killing everyone they came across. One zombie looked right at Fred and said, "You had only 2 rules. Don't tell anyone. This was promised to bring you success. And don't break the glass. Unfortunately for you, breaking one rule led to the glass being broke." The zombie grabbed Fred and proceeded to strangle him and eat him, then took a drink from a glass of champagne and said, "It's a true saying, art imitates life." The strange man looked from across the street and said to himself, "It is such a shame that poor man didn't just stick to his rules he was given." And then the strange man went about his business of looking for someone else down on their luck.